Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. President William Samoei Ruto is suddenly talking hard about corruption. And the president maintains that we need to clean up this country of this menace called corruption. And he maintains that the cleanup must begin with Parliament because he says the two houses are rotten to the core. Now his statements hasn't gone well with many experts and even the parliamentarians themselves, who are now saying that the president is making the biggest joke of this year. That can be taken as the biggest joke. And the president says that he is not only going to recall and shame the members of parliament who are corrupt, but he is going to arrest them.
Yes. There are people who are destroying the credibility of Parliament. And they are collecting money in the name of Parliament. And some of the time, or most of the time, that money never gets to Parliament, it gets to a few people. We are not going to shame them. We are going to arrest them. Yes.
Now, after those statements, ladies and gentlemen, some legislators are now saying that the first person who should be arrested is the president himself because they feel this is mere PR. Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka is saying that don't say this to target those whom you feel are not reading from the same page as you. And he's saying if at all you want to arrest anybody to begin the cleanup, begin with yourself.
The president wants to arrest Sifuna and other members of the Senate and the National Assembly ati ndio walikuwa wanakula nini? Ati wanakula hii pesa kidogo kidogo. Mr. President, if you want to start with the thieves, anza kujishika wewe. Thank you so much and God bless you.
It is not only the politicians who are calling on William Ruto to exercise a little bit of seriousness if he is indeed serious about fighting corruption. Eric Latif has this to say about the president's sentiments, and he's saying, please, Mr. President, we don't feel you and we don't believe you can fight this menace because it begins with you at your doorstep.
I have beef with the president. That as the state machinery is able to tell that the corruption, the conveyancing of corruption, the purveyors of corruption, those who are benefiting from corruption, the information is all out there. The information is given to the head of state, fine. Is the information also shared with the relevant investigative agencies to take the necessary legal action against this most heinous vice in the country? Because if it is, then arrest should have happened even before the president spoke about it. It does not have to be the president saying we shall arrest people. The president does not have investigation powers. He does not have prosecution powers. He is not even the judge. The president is just that. He is the head of government and he knows the officers in his government who are taking action. He can crack the whip on some of them, those that he has directly appointed. But all of them should find their way to court. That the president was just talking about a promise to arrest and prosecute the corrupt officials in our counties and our legislative assemblies, I call BS on that and I say, miss me with that. This is all talk and there's absolutely no intention to crack down the whip.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ledama Lekina was saying this because I just want to paint for you a picture of what people feel about the president's sentiments. Ledama is saying this. So now spammers are enlisted in the war on corruption, leaving no curtains intact. But can we finally talk about the real theater? Multi-billion shilling tenders skewed to Statehouse operatives and cabinet secretaries. Mr. President, start there as you attack Parliament. So Ledama Lekina, as one of the senators, and you know, he's been pro-broad-based government. But now, the president is calling the two houses to stop corruption. And Ledama is saying, this is mere theatric. Because he says, let us begin. Instead of the president, you know, pointing accusing fingers to the senators and the members of the National Assembly, Ledama feels corruption is deeply rooted in the Statehouse, with skewed tenders, with government ministers and those who are close to the president. And he says, begin from there. Caleb Amisi is saying this. One, he started by saying that listening to President Ruto talk on corruption only shows that hypocrisy needs to be redefined. It will take decades for the new generation to reset back Kenya. Kenya needs a renaissance. That is Caleb Amisi. And he adds by saying, the onslaught on Parliament is diversionary tactics. Such tricks, when you are politically cornered, are as old as the oldest profession. Ruto must go now. Now, Caleb Amisi, who's been a very big critic of the broad-based government, feels that the president is using an old tactic when you are cornered. Because people are telling William Ruto, you cannot be talking about turning around our economy. You're saying that you found a dilapidated economy and you're now doing a good job, yet corruption is part and parcel of your government. And you see, I've always maintained that they are reading from the reports of the Auditor General and the Controller of Budget. So Hamisi feels like many other MPs that what William Ruto is doing is that he's just speaking because he's been cornered, and these are old tactics of playing populist politics. And it's also saying that this is the height of hypocrisy when you want to talk about corruption and you're accusing other independent bodies, yet you are part and parcel. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about Ruto's assertion that he wants to fight corruption, that members of parliament should be arrested? I mean, what is your take? Others are saying that this is a good step and that it means William Ruto is seriously, thinking about fighting corruption. What is your take? In this video, I want to tell you why the president is still getting it wrong. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell if you're watching for the first time. This will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. Please like and share videos. Ladies and gentlemen, people are asking questions. You cannot talk about the two parliaments when you yourself has captured the two houses. It is on record, people have said that these two houses are corrupt so much that they will take as little as 5,000 to pass government bills. The executive can always coerce them to rubber stamp what the president wants. That house should be a house of order, a house of debate. We saw this in 2024 when they were passing the Finance Bill 2024. They ganged up against the people, passed that bill against the chagrin of the public, and hell broke loose. Gen Zs went to the street, and as a result, people were kidnapped, killed, and maimed. We saw this during the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. There were allegations that members of parliament took some money from the executive. They denied it. Now that the president is coming out and admitting that parliamentarians take money, then it is true. If they could take money from a governor to write a good report, it is easier that they could also take money from the executive. So people are calling on the president to ensure that he lets free the two houses, exercise their independence and autonomy before he comes back to tell us about fighting corruption. Number two, like Eric Latif puts it, the president has got no authority to prosecute. He's just the head of state. All the other independent institutions should come up, because if he's got the report that the two houses are corrupt, then by the time he's getting this report should have reached the EACC. It should have reached maybe the DPP, all the organs that are maintained by taxpayers' money to fight corruption. Now, why haven't they done this 2 years down the line? Because the president has been consuming intelligence. And I believe if he's got this intelligence report that these people are corrupt, then he should even set free the independent institutions to prosecute the members who are corrupt. We've seen it in the past. The president instructs offices like ODPP, Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, to sabotage ongoing cases, Arer and Kimarer dam cases. I've mentioned it here because from the horse's mouth, Judge knew to explain that that case collapsed because of lack of cooperation from that office itself. We have seen the president retrieve and pardon people who are close to him who had been jailed for corruption cases. So the president cannot come here and tell us that he's talking about corruption. Corruption is not fought on the streets when people talk about it. When you want to talk to fight corruption, you begin because we've got policies that guide how these people should be prosecuted. So you cannot come and talk. Number 3, you can never fight corruption, ladies and gentlemen, when people know that Statehouse is corrupt. They will not take you serious because they know you are living in a glass house. So even if you throw stones, they know if they throw back the stones at you, you are at risk. So they know these are mere rhetorics. They know this is just political gimmick. William Ruto is not serious about it. They know very well that the president maybe has given them money to pass certain, policies in parliament or bills. So even if the president talks this way, nothing happens. They know it cannot. Now, the president's team and closest allies are still running around with millions of shillings wrapped in envelopes. People like Sudi. And so for the president to come out boldly to speak like this, the parliamentarians are just laughing. Unajua when you work in an environment such as ours, let me ask you, you always see around cops and policemen every evening collect some money from entertainment joints, easy ma bar, wines and spirit, and we have normalized corruption. They take it, wanakuja tunasalamiana, mambo nini. It's, we see them every day. You see these traffic policemen collecting money from, the public vehicles that we use. And we've normalized it. We know, unaona mtu anachukua. And so even if the president talks about it, there's nothing that can be done unless he gets serious. This is why all this is mere talk. It cannot yield anything. And parliamentarians know it. The two houses know it. They know. Today, if the president wants maybe the deputy president, Kithure Kindiki, to go, it will take parliamentarians some tokens. They will be given some tokens and maybe instructions to do it within 1 hour. So all this, ladies and gentlemen, is mere talk. And people don't take Ruto serious. Last but not least, we've seen William Ruto make promises in this country, but he does not mean it. So it's no different. When you see the president talk, kuna deals zinaendelea, hakuna kitu hata moja atatimiza hapa. That is why Ledama is talking that way, Caleb Amisi is saying, and the Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka is saying, wewe unafaa ushikwe kwanza kabla hujaongea kushika watu wengine. And I don't know what to think, but we don't even need to talk about corruption. This is not something that you want, intergenerational conclave to talk about. No. Fighting corruption is action. It is not talk. I don't know what you think. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like our videos. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's meet on another video.